Welcome to Build by People Leaders podcast, brought to you by Hydra AI, your AI-powered coach for leaders in tech. I'm your host, Daria Rudnik, and this show is for HR and L&D leaders in fast-growing companies, those building real impact from within and helping grow AI-ready organizations. And today I have a very special guest, Andrew Bolton. He's a Harvard-trained financial strategist turned tech for good entrepreneur. He's a CEO and co-founder of Tech Rescue, a fast-growing company that provides 24/7 human-powered tech support for seniors, families, and small businesses. No bots, no menus, just real help, anytime, anywhere. Welcome, Andrew. It's great to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to share your story and your path to leadership and building your own business?
Sure. We can do a quick overview. I started my career in 2011 in the financial markets as a broker trader. I specialized early on in derivatives in the financial and tech sectors. Then went into hedge funds, private equity, and then I got into technology around the 2018-19 eras, where I worked at two startups, founded one, co-founded another, and now I'm on this one. I don't know, I can't ever stay still, but the one thing I will say is that this journey actually, if we look at the cosmos and we look at mathematics or astrophysics, my trajectory started with HR.
Okay, tell us more about that.
So I'm an entrepreneur because I bumped into HR. So coming from a training background from, let's say, high school from 2004 to 2007, we were taught and raised by Generation X. We were the last of what I consider the classes of like 2006, 2007, 2008 in high school years. We were the last of that generation that got our asses kicked the old-fashioned way, capital punishment by our parents and older brothers and sisters and things like that. So going into the workforce, we took a very unique attitude. And during that time period, we had a very interesting shift of HR going more towards how people felt at work, and that work is a family space and we're a family and we take care of each other. But you forgot one thing about that. You still fire people. So this whole thing about we're a family and we care, but yeah, by the way, today's your last day, go pack your shit. Time and time and time and time again, because that family space that, we're a safe place. Yeah, safe doesn't get results. No.
Okay, that's an interesting conversation. Why not?
How are we going to debate a topic, whether or not we're going to go into a derivative market in one aspect of a silo in one sector, and you disagree and I disagree, and you're like, oh, well, I don't feel safe anymore. I didn't lunge over the table. I didn't throw something at you. I'm debating you. I'm pushing you. I'm getting upset. I'm getting angry. Am I losing my temper? Sure. But have you ever been to an Irish Catholic household or any Italian household in the tri-state New York area? Any Sunday dinner is about 3 degrees from turning into a fist fight.
Is it safe there?
Of course it is. It's my home.
That's what I'm telling you. I mean, it's okay to debate and it's okay to have conflict and like when it's safe.
When we start having HR start moving this line of what we can talk about because Billy or Sandy doesn't feel safe to talk about, and you wonder why companies are stagnating. Companies are not innovating. Companies don't make it because you're all scared. You're all scared of an 18-year-old freaking intern who couldn't lift up a 50-pound dumbbell, and you're scared. You're a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. You're a multi-million-dollar company, and you're scared of the nerd in glasses. Wow.
Do you have HR in your company?
No.
I mean, okay. Who runs hiring, firing, people issues?
I do.
So you are HR in your company?
I am the HR. I am.
Cool.
And believe it or not, there are companies now that are doing away with chief people officers, chief HR officers, because guess what? Nothing's getting done.
Tell me, what kind of HR would you want to have in your company?
This starts at the very point of the spear in leadership. What does your company do? What is the company about? What is the goal that we're trying to accomplish? Then I want to build the people that are going to accomplish the goal that I have set for the company. That is HR's job. HR's job is to go forth and to procure and to acquire the talent and assets that is required to accomplish the goal that we have set forward. If it doesn't meet that goal and it doesn't get us to where we're going, why are we even discussing it? Personally, I don't care if you're black, green, blue, yellow, brown, girl, boy, or anything in between. If you do the job that I say you can do and you do it at a price and a time that is acceptable in the parameters that we have established, fantastic. Welcome to the Tech Rescue family. I've got 67 people working for me, and I've got from every race, creed, rainbow color. I've got everything and everything in between. Can you do the job? Fantastic. Let's keep moving.
That's you just described the ideal role. I mean, not the ideal, the role of HR, how it should be.
Okay, so what got complicated?
My guess.
This is now your floor. Where did it get complicated? I'm a CEO. I've got a black budget. I've got endless credit. I've got private equity funding. I just told you I need these people that can do marketing. I need these people who can do sales. I need these people who can do accounting. That's our pyramid. Let's start filling it out. Where did this get complicated?
I mean, when you set a goal, when you know the goal, there's no complications. You go and do your job.
Bingo.
The thing is,
bingo, right there. There it is.
The thing is, who is setting the goal?
We have lost that in the world. In the corporate world, what is our goal? What are we trying to do? We have chased money. We have generated alpha. We have generated alpha to its maximum point, right? What else are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish? For your audience, this is the mindset you could take a look at. Let's look at the car industry, right? I'm a car guy. I'm mostly a motorcycle guy. We have stopped trying to make something better. We're trying to make something more buyable. The brand, and I'll go after Ford, and you can come after me, Ford, if you want. But what you've designed, what you've just released, is nothing more than a body kit on a bigger engine. What else have you done? What else creativity have we done in terms of the world? What new designs have we come up with? What new aerodynamics have we come up with? What new way of tires? You're telling me that we can go around the planet in less than a day. We can do all these things, and we haven't figured out a way to make better tires? You're telling me that nobody has figured out a way, oh, by the way, this is free to anybody, I'm just giving $1 billion idea out into the world, that if you make a tire and you then coat it with a silicone patch that breaks the moment that something punctures it, it self-tars. What a concept. You've now just fixed a flat tire instantaneously by putting a coating inside the tire. I don't know. I just spitballed that. But why haven't we done it? The point is, we've lost the goal because we're no longer interested in a goal. And with no longer a goal, we've been getting the results of HR that we've been getting. We've been getting feel goods. We've been getting foosball tables. We've been getting hacky sacks, couches, sleep pods, massages, hibachi, slides. We've got water polo in some companies. We've got whirlpools. We've got saunas. We've got cold brew, hot brew. We've got kombucha.
Well, how do we change that? Like, let's say you come as HR in a middle-sized company, growing company. The leader doesn't care, to be honest. How do you build HR function there?
I sit down with top leadership, with the board and the CEO, and ask, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to do? What are we trying to accomplish? Because this also speaks to Amazon, right? We just found out that Amazon laid off 30,000 people, and they're poised to do another 25% by the end of 2026. The question then becomes, what has somebody asked Jeff Bezos? What is our next goal? What is our goal? Because now you see the streamline of cutting away people, all right? So we're streamlining. What is the goal? And I can guarantee you, if we went to any company now and we asked, what is the main goal? What is the real goal of our company? I would say about 40% of the overall company population has got to go.
What do you mean? Why they got to go?
Well, if we have operating overhead that is greater than our expenditure, we clearly are buying things. I had this conversation with my mother not too long ago. If you look at Google was the first one to start this crazy company nonsense. When a company starts making money, if we look at empires, right? Greeks, the Romans, the Macedonians, the Chinese, the Yens, everybody. When an empire, if you say, gets to a point where it no longer thinks in terms of acquisition, warfare, competition, it starts going towards the circus. It means that we've gotten past the point of our goal. We've reached our goal and we're now ambiguous.
Well, I'll tell you. I mean, the Google studied all thing. Maybe, I mean, I'm not sure, but probably Google studied all thing. This buffets and beer and you do anything you want on the campus, on the Google campus. I'll tell you like why it all started. And it started for a very like good reason, because what Google wanted is they wanted people to work for them 24/7. Like the more they stay on campus, the more they work, the more code lines of code they produce, the better the results. Okay, guys, you stay here. Here's your beer. Here's your pizza. Stay and work and never go home.
Yeah, but guess what? That doesn't transfer over to every company.
Absolutely no, for
And,
sure.
and the S&P 500 brought that on. I lived in the tri-state area besides South America, but the companies that I've gone to, I've been in the top hedge funds. There's maybe a coffee barista there. There's no foos tables. There's no ping pong. There's no cold brew. There's no bean bags. None of that. You want to know why? Because it's not part of the goal. It doesn't make money. It doesn't get us to our next goal. When you start having a playground, and I'm not saying creativity is not important in a business, but when you start having a playground in your business and you start looking at what your overhead is and you're stagnant, I don't know.
It all comes again to goal. If you have a goal, if you want people to stay on campus and work, you make them stay on campus and work. If you just copy what just Google did because Google did it, that's not going to work because you're not matching it to your goals. That's exactly what you're saying. And that's exactly what HR should be asking their leaders. Should we do that just because Google did that? Or do we want our own thing because that matches our goals?
So now this goes after a topic that, is personal to me and sure is to you. I've been fired from every company I ever worked for. Every single one. I've sat in a
I'm
chair.
not surprised.
We can talk about this because now I have no feelings on this now because I'm not fighting for a job. Sitting on the other side of the table and being told that, now, mind you, I've been in situations where my pipeline is 50 million, 120 million pipeline. I've got maybe 13 of that closed. And we're in week 2, week 3 of Q2. And I'm sitting now and it's, your performance metrics. And it's like, I'm sorry, wait, what? My performance metrics? I've got $100 million on the line in total that I'm hunting. Yeah, but, and this is where I have my bones to pick with HR. In what world do you all think that somebody hands over a $30 million 3-year contract in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Where in the world do you get that from cold calling and, going after, making pitches, showing up at country clubs, showing up at car washes, where do you people come up with that number in your head? Like, we're supposed to go abracadabra and make $500 million appear by the end of Q3.
What do you think?
I would love to know because you're the one.
Your boss. Your boss. Those numbers come from your boss.
And there's no pushback to say that ain't going to happen. Have you ever seen your sales?
Depending on the chart, some might push back, but again, numbers come from your boss. Hiring, firing decisions come from your boss.
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just the voice of a bunch of people that I personally know that now I have somebody to go, you know what I think of you?
For some period of time, I'm not HR. I'm not that because people hate me. Hate me for what? Because I'm being the front person for bad leadership decisions. And that's not a very pleasant position, to be honest.
Believe me, I'm not saying that your job ain't fun because you have to sit on the other side of the table and you have to pull the trigger. I'm not saying your job's not fun. When I'm voicing the anger of people before me, currently me, and about to be me, is that unless you see us literally sitting at our desks or on camera, scrolling on TikTok or whatever, we are hustling. We are breaking our backs trying to make somebody else's dream come true. And since I started my career in 2011, I was making money while everybody was losing their minds and losing their homes. So I'll be the first one to admit that I was one of the vultures and raptors. So I have a special place in hell, I know. But when the pandemic hit too as well, I was in a position where we were in SaaS and we were trying to make these gigantic sales. and I had HR bugging me. This is where my whole argument with HR comes through is we have to start having real conversations in businesses of what's real and what's not. And unfortunately, now getting to AI, this is now the transition to that conversation. I want to be the first one on the market to say this. There is going to be, a lot of stupid jobs are going to go. A lot of stupid jobs are going to go, right? A lot of easy stuff is going to go. Copyright, paralegal. There's a hard reality people are going to have to wake up to, unfortunately, right now. AI is, Pandora's box is open, folks. This box is open. This is Prometheus. This is fire, right? So this idea that we'll get it under control, no, we ain't getting it under control. We are going to adapt to it. So that's number one. Number two, in regards to company-wise, this now gets to the question of what is the goal? What is your goal? Now, my goal in my company is to provide quality human tech support. No bots, no robots, no maze. You pick up the phone, you get somebody on the phone, because when you're calling, you're angry, you're frustrated, you're upset. You want somebody to come and rescue you. Hey, hi, here we are. No more bots, because we understand that bots suck. AI is a powerful tool. I'll be the first one to admit it. I can go through a 150 sheet spreadsheet in under 30 seconds and pull out extrapolated data of consumer reports, consumer diagnostics. I can do everything in less than 30 seconds. All right, that's fantastic. Now what? Now this is the AI part. Now what? Now what? HR is going to have a very powerful tool in its hands. It can scour the entire planet through LinkedIn, Facebook, resumes, scan it. So now the question is to the individual, right? Now that we live in an AI world, now we live in this world, there's a lot of salespeople that should be scared. There's a lot of salespeople who should be scared, because now with AI, the cream is going to rise to the top, because that's all that's going to be left. I can scan my entire LinkedIn list, develop a message perfect for each and every single person, set that on a timed email blockchain, and then boom, that block goes out, that block goes out, that block. Okay, I just replaced almost all my SDRs on email for marketing. All right, cool. Now we have AI to do calling, right? Set up appointments.
But like you said, it depends on the goal. If your goal is to talk to people, you need people to talk to people. If your goal is to get rid of people, you can have AI like Amazon. I'm sure they're happy to have AI, because they never want anyone reach them, their customer support service. They put all the blocks. Do not ever reach us.
If I was to guess, Jeff Bezos is building a self-autonomous warehouse. If I was to guess anything, if I was Jeff Bezos, right, I would hire the smartest and best and brightest engineers, machinists, fabricators, everything to build me an autonomous, worldwide, global warehouse that the trucks pull in by a robot, the trucks get loaded by a robot, because the robots are all filtering and sorting everything in. And I've got maybe a few hundred staff mechanics and a few hundred staff engineers and a few hundred staff repairmen and maintenance. The trucks come out, the trucks go to designated parking lots, and then these little things go out into the neighborhood, come back, and boop, 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 boop. There you go.
No humans involved.
That gets so good. What do you think would happen to the U.S. Postal Service? Same thing with Amazon. Guess what? Little machine. The Domino. You ever see that Domino's robot that comes up to your door and out comes the pizza? Guess what? Now have a truck with a slot. And guess what? Every mailbox has to be within a certain height, within a certain parameter. Because guess what? The truck. Boop, 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 boop. Not saying out of the world of reality, but guess what? If I was Jeff Bezos, that's what I would do. That's my goal. So what am I hiring? I'm hiring the very best of the best of the best of the best to build me exactly what I want. And don't need you all anymore. Now this goes back to circling our conversation. The idea of us having companies W-2, that is done. By 2030, there is none of that. I'm a people company. I have people. W-2 will not make sense, because if what is being done, if we look at the federal government, regardless of politics, remember we say, look at the goal. If we completely privatize everything right? I will no longer have to be required to pay for health insurance. You, the individual, can go out into a global market, which they're saying, and find your own. We are going to a world of 1099 contractors. So this idea of W-2 is over. AI broke that. So I guess the conversation hasn't been had the right way. I should say, let me rephrase all of this. The right conversation hasn't been had. What is AI doing? It wiped away W-2. It's done. Gone.
So what do you do? Like, how do you build a company? How do you build a people-facing, people-serving company?
You hire people individually, one by one by one. And this is now where AI is going to work in you as the person's favor. If we're all going in this direction where it's no longer companies and people, it's companies and individuals of 1099s, which most likely, then you need to be the very best of something on your resume. There's no more generic, the AIs. Why? Why am I going to hire a generic person when I need somebody exactly what I need and I now have the tools at my disposal to go into the global market, right? Because guess what? There's Fiverr, there's Contra, there's Upwork. I'm sorry. You're done. It's over. You now have to be specific of what you are the expert of. Because AI is the expert of everything. Generalization. All right, give an example.
Okay.
I'll give you a perfect example, completely out of our worlds. Out of our worlds. You're a college student going into teaching. You want to be a teacher. I want to be a teacher. I want to teach kids. Great. They know everything about everything at any given moment with their phone, iPad, and phone. What are you going to teach them? Explain Pythagorean theorem to them. The hypotenuse between one angle and another angle. Find me it. So now what do? I am Sally May. I am 21-year-old student from Maryland University. I specialize in AI teaching skills. Children development is X, Y, and Z. The average, most kids have a cell phone. I will teach a regimen protocol with Ever District utilizing AI to now specifically teach each kid. Guess what? With AI, you could have a classroom of 50 kids. 50 kids. Now, hear this math. With 50 kids, open up ChatGPT. ChatGPT comes up with a school program, right? Not hard to do. We have, because of the internet, we have every program from everything ever existed. Kid types into their parameters, what they learn, what they like. And guess what? Within 30 seconds, ChatGPT now creates an entire learning program personalized to that kid's learning ability. And you as a teacher, because you're AI trained as a teacher, you can monitor their progress because it's chartable, it's graphable, it's quantifiable. We now have the ability to make smarter kids. There's no more saying, well, Timmy just didn't get it, or Johnny just doesn't understand it, or Sally's a big thinker. Okay, cool.
Oh, yes, I totally agree. Like with AI, there are lots to learn, but the right way, like you said, I mean, go to ChatGPT is not making you smarter.
Where you're going to differentiate yourself. Now, because everybody's complaining about what am I going to do for a job? What am I going to do for a job? What am I going to do? Stop. Take a deep breath. Yes, it's scary. Take 10 steps back. Let's go over, even in HR. What are we trying to accomplish? Well, I want to keep a job. I want to still work. Okay, that's our goal. That's the spear point. That's the tip. Now let's work our way down. Who in our life or our organization is going to make that happen? This is HR. HR's sole responsibility is to put the right people or the right assets in place to accomplish said goal.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I love the question, like, what are we trying to accomplish here? That's the main question. Every HR need to ask the leaders. Every leaders need to ask themselves, what are we trying to accomplish here? Are we trying to look like Google, or are we trying to make something that is our own, that is our goal? And even if AI is coming for you, again, what I can bring to the table. Think about your strengths, what you can do. And again, AI is amplifying your strengths. It cannot work without expert because it just goes.
Perfect example. Take any Elton John album, take any Eric Clapton album, take any Pink Floyd, Moody Blues, Elvis Presley, even Metallica, even Rob Zombie, any Britney Spears album. Listen to every AI built piece of music on YouTube and compare the two. Listen, nothing against the creatives out there. Fantastic backbeats, fantastic rhythm, fantastic music. Sorry, computer can't write lyrics. A computer doesn't know pain. A computer's never been in love. So Layla or Susie Q or Eric Clapton's Lady in Red, sorry, never gonna happen.
Yeah, it comes from experience.
Ain't never going to happen. Sorry, computer doesn't feel.
Well, Andrew, that was an amazing conversation. Went totally off track. I really love your energy. I really love your examples. I hope it was helpful for HR people to listen to like the real people, because I know the pain. I know a lot of people suffered from like corporate world, and I know there are a lot of HR that are not doing their job, but we want it to be better. That's why we're having those conversations. How can we be better?
The main point that I would suggest to any HR is, if you are being put into that position where you feel like there's constraint, right? We're not doing anything. We're not growing. And leadership is coming to you and there's an issue that they're coming to you with. Stop. Just stop. Everybody go into the boardroom. Sit down. What are we trying to do here? And don't give me ambiguous answers. Don't go give me Q2 this or Q5 that or next quarter. No, what is the goal? What is the goal? What is the one sentence goal? Are we going to be the best consulting company on the East Coast? Are we going to be the number one car wash in the Southern Hemisphere? Are we going to be the number one cookie brand in every grocery? What is the goal? What is the goal? I don't want to hear Q5. I don't want to hear anything else. I want to hear a tangible, right on a wall, all right? Take a can of spray paint if you need to drive home the message, right? Write it on the wall if you need to get that message across. We are number one, whatever, in this region. That's the goal. All right. Now you have a pin on the map. That's a great
advice. Well, thank you so much for having this conversation. How people can reach out to you? How can they get more energy from you?
You can go to www.techrescue.io or call us 24 hours a day at 855-250-8586.
The links are in the notes to this episode. Please like it, share it with your friends, with your HR colleagues, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you for having me.